and welcome to Story Circle Toys. Guys, new video for the week. Look, first of all, a little apology. I missed my video from last week. I've been really proud of myself putting out a video every week for 9 weeks. I put out a video. Unfortunately, I caught a really bad flu last week, so well, I'm still, if you can hear my voice, I'm still recovering from that flu. I'm pretty much over it now, so I'm getting back to get some videos. So, if I'd been smart, I would have had a bit of a backlog, something I could have published in the interim, but I didn't, and it was just one of those flus. I couldn't do anything of interest. Just kind of wiped out my headspace. So apologies. I've been really trying to push for regular content, but let's let me get some extra videos under my belt, and hopefully that never happens again. So look, today's video, all creatures great and small. This covers another little obsession I've started on with PVC, with rubber toys, with animal toys. So look, we're going to dive into a couple of American toy companies with what I've got here. Also, we have a big announcement. I have a big announcement for the channel, which I will save, of course, to the end of the channel. So you'll have to wait till then. So look, let's crack some packages because these have been waiting for me on my couch for quite some time. So you might remember, if you've watched all of my videos, that on my second video I picked up one of these cool Godzillas. Now, originally when I picked this up, I thought it was a Imperial Toys brand Godzilla, but of course, there are a lot of Godzilla knockoffs available here. And while this does share some similarities, it is not a original Imperial Toys. So, who were Imperial Toys? So, the Imperial Toy Corporation was founded in California in 1969. And look, they put out a lot of toys. Eventually, unfortunately, they kind of got, they were sold. They were back in the 2000s and 2006. Back in 1969, it was actually founded by a guy called Court. I think it's Fred Court. He's a real interesting character, which I've just started diving into. A philanthropist, and a Holocaust survivor. And they did a whole lot of toys right up until about 2006 when the company was sold, and then it kind of went bankrupt in 2020, funnily enough, and was acquired by another company. So it doesn't exist as it did. But Imperial Toys, look, not to speak ill of Fred Court, but they did a lot of toys, maybe not a lot of toys very well. There are some random things, like they did like figures of, they did a figure for Close Encounters of a Third Kind, Jaws. Obviously, the most, the thing that most people know them for, of course, are these, the Godzilla and King Kong figures that they did. But they did a whole lot of other figures. Battle Beasts was a cool one. It was a line of figures that were basically, I'll have some pics up now, but kind of cashing in on the popularity of He-Man. So they were kind of He-Man adjacent, Masters of the Universe adjacent. But look, let's get into it. This is the first package I've got here. So you'll see I'm a little bit more prepared. So let's crack this open. This should be a rapid fire video. This should definitely be a quick video. But yeah, so look, I've been hunting down Imperial Toys on Trade Me. The problem with a lot of these Imperial Toys is a lot of the stuff they did were like the rubber animals and dinosaurs. That was their kind of very much a stock and trade for the company. And both these auctions I'm going to open up, of course, where the person had actually marked them as Imperial Toys. But I've been doing some searching for now for like over a month and not found anything extra. So I'm real lucky that I got these ones. So, of course, one thing is, if anybody out there, if you have any Imperial mark toys, look, they have quite, it's quite easy to figure out that they have the little marking on the animal figures. It says Imperial Toys. One thing I also found out is, while there are videos of people and their Imperial toy collections, like on YouTube and online, there's not actually a lot of documentation, as opposed to some toy companies that have plenty of videos. There's not a lot about them. So if anybody can steer me towards more history about the Imperial Toy Corporation, that'd be appreciated. So this is, this is my first Imperial Toys figure. This is a cool panda. So yeah, so I was lucky. I crawl over Trade Me on a pretty regular basis in the vintage toy section, and this guy came in. Now, he is quite large. This is quite a large toy. Look, let's compare it to. I've got a Ninja Turtle figure here. Let's compare it to a Ninja Turtle figure. So you can see he kind of dwarfs this Rocksteady figure here. So very decent sized figure. This Imperial Toys panda. He's got a little bit of articulation. Look, he's got some solid joints here. Head. Now I'll try and get this on camera. So Imperial Toys. Of course, you can see the little crown. I mean, they did have some variety of logos. This is certainly one of the more classic logos. You'll see that it's made in China and the little crown. So this is the first in my little Imperial toy collection. So if you've got some rubber PVC animals at home and you don't know what they're for or what brand they are, maybe just have a little check and maybe drop me a message because I'd love to add some more. So with these toy hunting things, things happen. You see one and then another one pops up. So this one was not long after. And as I said, I've had a drought. Sorry, the exact opposite of what I meant to say. A drought of these. So, but again, lots of these figures, because they're fairly generic figures. Dinosaurs, animals, obviously like something like the Close Encounters figure, you'd recognize that. But a lot of these might go totally under the radar. So yeah, please check them out. Now this is interesting. This person has seemingly packed this in a look here. So thank you to this sender. Look, they've actually wrapped it, and this is a sheet. This is actually an old sheet. Look, I'm going to take the sheet. Oh, fine. And this figure, all these are actually much larger. Much, much larger than I suspected. Here we go. We have an Imperial Toys Tiger. Look at that. So yeah, let's compare that to the panda there. I don't think those are in scale at all, but it is pretty big. So this guy, I think I've seen some pictures in different colorations of this, so I'm not sure if this is faded or this is just how he's meant to be. He looks different. He's got a little bit of damage up on his nose there. Let's try and find the Imperial. There we go. So I think it actually even has a date there. That says 1985 or 65. Made in China. I can't quite tell. I'm going to have to look at that under eyes. So it's either 65 or 85. But that is a beautiful figure and huge. A lot of the kind of animal figures you see these days, like in the toy worlds or the warehouse, I think it's Schillich brand. I can't pronounce that. And they're obviously a considerably smaller scale. So all these weren't terribly expensive, but I'm pretty happy. So, wow, those are some cool figures. So one of the things is I started off as toy collecting, really like, Star Wars, action figures. But as I keep on finding out more about toys and just appreciate these old figures and companies like this, maybe Imperial Toys won't be remembered for their quality, but there's something about these figures that are still very endearing. Okay, so that's 2 packages down. Let's head to the third package. Let's just put you guys here. So I said all creatures great and small. This last package is certainly a creature. Now, you will see there that this package comes from Melody Likes. So Melody runs a very successful toy business on Facebook and soon to have a website. So she is a friend of mine. I met her through the company I work for, Legend Story Studios, and the card game we produce, which is called Flesh and Blood. See, I love her packages. Look, fragile, handle with care. These are very cool. So look, obviously I'll put all the Melody's links here, but if you can get that QR code, I'm sure that takes you to either her Facebook or the website. So yeah, so Melody is very cool, and we have a great relationship. She is always we catch up, we talk about toys. She's somebody I can bother about things that I'm obsessed with, and she may have information. Her stock and trade is dolls, but she does a little bit of everything. And this comes to this package. Ooh, open this side. See, more stickers. Oh, more stickers. This is cool. And pink tape. So obviously I know what this is. This isn't a surprise since it was ordered from her. But these, these toys are from a company called Remco. So Remco actually is an older company than Imperial Toys. I believe they go back as far as, I think it is 1949. Let me just check my notes here. Yeah, so Remco Toys is another American toy company, founded in 1949. The company's slogan, apparently, when it started was, "Every boy wants a Remco toy, and so do girls." It's very nice that they decided to involve girls in toys. So Remco was pretty innovative during the 50s and 60s, kind of like in the 80s. When I was a kid, I didn't see any Remco toys in that period, but they're most famous in that period for a lot of stuff that again is He-Man Motu adjacent. So they did series like Lost Land of the Warlords, which is like a DC licensed character. They also did Conan, and if you've ever seen any videos from Froggy Flips, they're also well known for Warrior Beasts, and also diving in there wrestling as well. They did wrestling figures for the AWA, which was the American Wrestling Association. Now, if you don't know them, that's fine. If you just know WWF and then WWE wrestling, the AWA was a wrestling federation that a lot of the stars of the WWF, including Hulk Hogan, all went through there before they got to the WWF. So, well, WWE now. So let's get this open. So the toy line that I haven't mentioned that Remco did, I think it was in the 80s. And what do we got here? Look, I'm not going to show you the tax invoice. But we have, what is this? I'm going to have to ask Melody. She probably hasn't mentioned this because this has been sitting on my couch. But this looks like some kind of car air freshener. Maybe I'm wrong, or it's some kind of decoration. That's cool. If it is a car air freshener, I know my car could certainly do with it. That is so cool. So I'm going to put that up. Let's take this out. So, sorry, getting back on track. Sorry, you surprised me there, Melody. That was cool. The figure line that a lot of collectors really love them for is, let's flip it around. All right, so you can see here again, I always like to comment when the stuff is well packaged, and thank you, Melody, it certainly is. So the figure line there, really well known for that a lot of collectors love, is the Universal Monsters figures.
Introducing Frankenstein, Phantom of the Opera, Dracula, and Creature from the Black Lagoon.
The monsters with glow-in-the-dark features.
Frankenstein is in a foul temper. Dracula flies in, fangs bared. Creature surfaces, dripping with rage. Phantom shows his fiendish face. I can't look. Is he ugly? The monster battle rages on. It's a howl.
The monsters with glow-in-the-dark features, each sold separately from Remco.
So this is a Remco Creature from the Black Lagoon. So yeah, all creatures great and small. Remco figure. So these figures, I think like it was 1979-80 that these figures first came out. There's 6 in the line. This is obviously like the 3.75 inch figure, so it's kind of in scale with what Star Wars figures were at the time. Oh look, it's in a little sealed baggie. This is great. Also, apparently, and I've never seen it, there was an 8-inch line of this as well. And these cards are really great. They're really evocative of the period. So this card I've got from, this card is so cool. So here's a little cool little thing. It is from Toys R Us, which doesn't exist in America at the moment. So the card obviously is a little bit rough, but again, it is now something like 44 years old. So the blister is still well attached. It's a little bit yellow there, but the graphic design on this is just amazing. It's just very arresting. So here's the other cool thing. Here is the rest of the line for this. So you've got Dracula, Wolfman, Mummy, Frankenstein, Phantom of the Opera, and the Creature from the Black Lagoon. So yeah, this is marked 1980. Made in Hong Kong. So yeah, I love this figure. I'm going to have to get a case. I think This might even actually fit maybe Star Wars. It's pretty similar in terms of close to the Star Wars size, but I believe this is also, you can't see it there because it's got Toys R Us sticker. This is one of the glow in the dark ones. I'm not going to test it, otherwise I'm going to black out the feed here. So yeah, real happy to have those. Yeah, not something you see very often. I have forgotten to ask Melody where she came across this, but she does many deals and import stuff from the US for her toy empire, let's call it. Now, of course, there was one more thing in here, and here we go. This is, of course, a loose Creature of the Black Lagoon from the same series. It's not the Glow in the Dark one. But yeah, look at that. It's a beautiful figure. So yeah, very similar to kind of a Star Wars range of figures. It's the same size, you know, typical articulation, just arms. Swiveling neck, doesn't swivel much. Obviously independent legs. But yeah, if you're a fan of Universal Horror, which of course I am because I'm a fan of all horror pretty much, this is a really cool figure. So I'm really happy to have this in the collection. Oops. Oh. There we go. So I'll get a few more close-up shots of this and post up for all these figures. Look, I'm working on my Instagram, so these figures are definitely going to go up on my Instagram soon. So please check that out. There's a link at the end of the video for my Instagram. So look, that is all creatures great and small for tonight. Now, I promised a revelation. We are going to be doing, well, I and the channel are going to be publishing next week. We're going to be doing our first interview. Yes, that's it. I have got out there to interview people of the New Zealand toy community. I'm really passionate about the community, and I know I haven't really been part of it for long, but I think in the short time that I've been part of it, I have made some connections. So you guessed it, my first guest on, of course, is going to be Melody. Yep, we did a interview. We are going to be publishing that. Yeah, that's the next channel, next video for the channel. I'm really looking forward to it. I hope you enjoy it. I'll be hyping it up in the current weeks. But Melody is a fantastic person. Yeah, really glad that she gave me some time to talk toys, talk her toy history. So yeah, that's coming up. All right, that is Story Circle Toys for the moment. I've gone on long enough about toys. We will catch you next week. See ya.